Hello friends, welcome to the Box channel. Today we will be talking about the film Kuch Hota Hai. Yes, our all-time favorite movie Kuch Hota Hai. So let's start. Kuch Hota Hai, also known as KKHH or K2H2, is a 1998 Indian Hindi language romantic comedy drama written and directed by Karan Johar and produced under Dharma Productions. It stars the popular on-screen pair of Shahrukh Khan and Kajol in their fourth film together along with Rani Mukharji and Salman Khan. The plot combines two love triangles set years apart. The first half covers friends on a college campus, while the second tells the story of a widower's young daughter who tries to reunite her dad with his old best friend. Filmed in India, Mauritius and Scotland, this was Johar's directorial debut. One of his goals for the film was to set a new level for style in Hindi cinema. The music was composed by Jatin Lalit, which was the biggest seller of the year. Kuch Hota Hai was released on 16th October 1998 in India and United Kingdom and received positive reviews from critics, with particular praise directed to Kajol's performance. The film was successful in India and abroad, becoming the highest grossing Indian film of the year and the third highest grossing Indian film at that time. Outside India, the film was the highest grossing Hindi film ever until its record was broken by Karan Johar's next directorial Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham. So let's know the story of Kuch Hota Hai. Rahul and Anjali are best friends in college. They frequently spend time together and play basketball. Anjali is much better at the game, though Rahul will win occasionally by cheating. The friendship is tested by the arrival of Tina, the attractive daughter of the college principal from London. Rahul is immediately smitten and starts hazing her as a means to grab attention. The two grow attracted to each other, leading Anjali to feel jealous. She realizes she is in love with Rahul, but cannot stand seeing him get closer to Tina. She changes colleges, leaves town, and loses contact with Rahul. Almost a decade later, Rahul is a single parent to an 8-year-old daughter, also named Anjali. Tina, whom he married after college, died while giving birth to their daughter, but not before writing 8 letters for her to read on her subsequent birthdays. The last of these letters introduces Anjali to Rahul's college friend by the same name. In the letter, Tina asks Anjali to reunite Rahul with Anjali Sharma, the older Anjali, believing the two were best friends who were secretly in love. At a camp for children in Shimla, Anjali Sharma is a felicitator who teaches music and dance. Anjali Khanna, the younger Anjali, enrolls and meets her namesake for the first time. Soon she tricks her father into visiting the camp to meet her, reuniting him with the older Anjali after many years. Using her mother's descriptions of their college days in letter, Anjali Khanna recreates familiar situations that enables Anjali Sharma and Rahul to rekindle their friendship. They eventually find love again, but this time are interrupted by the arrival of Anjali's fiancé, Aman. Finally snapping back to reality, Anjali leaves the camp midway to return home and marry Aman. On the day of wedding, Anjali Khanna lets Aman know of her mother's letter and her quest to unite her father with Anjali Sharma. Meanwhile, Rahul stumbles into Anjali Sharma at an upstairs balcony and finally expresses his love for her. At the wedding hall downstairs, Aman and the guests are awaiting Anjali to make her way to the prayer for the final ritual. Anjali walks down the stairs but stops after seeing Rahul. Aman, realizing Anjali will always be in love with Rahul, calls off the engagement. He asks the two to get married instead and joins in the celebration. Rahul and Anjali Sharma are finally united, and Anjali Khanna is beset with emotion at having fulfilled her mother's quest expressed in her last letter. So let's know more about the production and the story background. After the experience of assisting and acting in Aditya Chopra's directorial debut, the romantic drama Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Karan Johar was encouraged to try his own hand at directing with Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. He chose to pair up the same lead actors Shahrukh Khan and Kajol for his own romantic film. During the filming of Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Khan had also encouraged Johar to make his own film and said that he would be willing to star in it. They were signed by producer and his father Yash Johar in early 1997. Yash Johar officially announced the film in October 1997 at Mehboob Studios in Bandra. Johar first wrote a story which was a love triangle between a tomboy, a very pretty girl, and a slightly insensitive boy. But he shelved the idea because he was not very satisfied with it. Then he wrote another plot about a widower and his child, which he shelved as well. Eventually, he decided to merge the two stories into one. He explained in an interview with Rediff.com. It was about the trauma of a widower and his little child, how the child really wants a mother and how she brings her mother into her father's life. Then I thought, why not bring a youth aspect to the story? Why not a flashback? That's how the story got made. The story also includes a personal desires versus parental loyalties theme and has some East meets West themes. But instead of the characters going abroad, it creates a virtual West inside India. So how this film was developed? Karan Johar was certain from the beginning that he wanted to cast Shahrukh Khan in the lead role, having observed him during the making of Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. It took longer to fill the role of Tina. The role was written with Twinkle Khanna in mind, but she turned it down. Other actresses such as Urmila Matondkar, Tabbu, Shilpa Shetty, Aishwarya Rai, Raveena Tandon and Karishma Kapoor were offered the role but also turned it down. Aditya Chopra and Shahrukh Khan noticed Rani Mukharji's acting in Raja Ki Aayegi Barat and suggested her to Karan Johar. He thus signed her, giving a boost to her career. Saif Ali Khan and Chandrachud Singh were initially offered the role of Aman, but they both turned it down, thus prompting Johar to rope in Salman Khan. Johar, who is also a costume designer, wanted to set a new level for style in Hindi cinema with this film. He and his friend Manish Malhotra, the film's costume designer, made trips to London for costumes, much to the chagrin of his father and producer Yash Johar, who was concerned about the budget. Many of the costumes in the film prominently displayed logos from designers such as DKNY and Polo. In addition to the designer fashions, Johar also created a somewhat fantastical world where the students speak English and enjoy pristine college campus, where there is no crime or hate and traditional Hindu values are pervasive. Johar admitted that the look and the feel of the college scenes in the film were patterned after Beverly Hills 90210, saying the art, the costumes tilt toward the West, but the soul of the film is Indian. He hired Sharmishtha Roy as art director and told her to produce something similar to Riverdale High School of Archie comics, with some 90210 influence as well. Johar said of the outcome, if you see KKHH, Shahrukh plays Archie, Rani Mukharji plays Veronica, and Kajol played Betty. It was exactly that. And principal looked like Vidarbhi and Miss Grundy was Archana Puran Singh. Johar also hired Farah Khan to do the choreography, Jatin Lalit to provide the music, Santosh Tundiyal as cinematographer, and Nikhil Advani as his associate director. Shabina Khan assisted Manish Malhotra with costume design. So let's know more about the filming. So filming began on 21st October 1997. The crew was young and inexperienced to the point where Shahrukh Khan had to explain basic technicalities of filming. Khan later said Karan makes no bones of the fact that his technical knowledge of filmmaking was not at its peak when he made the biggest hit of the decade. The entire film was shot in 9.5 months, with a substantial part of it shot in Mauritius. The title song was filmed over a 10-day period in several picturesque locations in Scotland, including Eilean Glencoe, Loch Lomond, and Tantallon Castle, with the nearby Basrock as a backdrop in one scene. The scenes from the summer camp in Shimla were filmed at a Wenlock Downs in Ooty, Tamil Nadu. During the bicycle scene in the song, Ye Ladka Hai Deewana, Kajol lost control of her bike, fell flat on her face, and was knocked unconscious while also injuring her knee. During the promotional making of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai TV special, Kajol stated that the accident was her most memorable part of shooting the film because she doesn't remember it. Isn't that funny? During preparation for the reunion scene, where the two leads meet after more than 8 years apart, the director told them to improvise and rehearse the reactions that they might use. But he secretly tapped them and was so happy with the result that it was put into the film. Soundtrack. So, the soundtrack of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was composed by Jatin Lalit and the lyrics were penned by Sameer. This is the first collaboration of the duo with Karan Johar. It was released by the Sony Music label on 12th August 1998. While the film was still untitled, Javed Akhtar was signed to write the lyrics and even wrote and recorded one song. However, when the movie was titled Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, he found the title mediocre, obscene and vulgar and decided to quit the project. Akhtar later regretted leaving the film as he found it decent and could see that the title has become quite a buzzword, realizing that he was the only one who disliked the title. The album became the best-selling Bollywood soundtrack of the year, with 8 million units sold in India. The title song remained on the Indian music charts for over a year. The album became the best-selling Bollywood soundtrack of the year, with 8 million units sold in India. The title song remained on the Indian music charts for over a year, and album peaked at number 2 on the Malaysian albums chart in 1999. Sony Music Indonesia also sold 300,000 copies in Indonesia, for a combined 8.3 million copies sold in India and Indonesia. Mukul Deshpande of Planet Bollywood rated the soundtrack 8.5 out of 10 stars, although he did not like all the songs. In 2012, it was voted as the most popular film song of the previous decade by NDTV. The full soundtrack came in second place in similar poll conducted by the BBC. The first place being taken by Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, an album which was also composed by Jatin Lalit. So let's see how Kuch Kuch Hota Hai received the critical reception. While comparing to the film to Dil To Pagal Hai, Nikhat Kazmi of the Times of India gave Kuch Kuch Hota Hai 3.5 out of 5 stars. She especially liked the performance of Kajol and thought that the film would appeal to young and romantic viewers primarily for its MTV ambience and Valentine's Day flavors. On the negative side, she said, the second half, however, gets drowned in a sea of emotions. Too many people begin to cry a bit too much. Anish Khanna of Planet Bollywood rated the film 9.5 out of 10 stars, calling it pure escapist cinema at its best. He praised the cinematography, choreography, set decorations, and also raved over Kajol's performance, along with her on-screen chemistry with Shahrukh Khan. Overall, he said, Karan Johar makes an impressive directorial debut, has a good script sense, and knows how to make a film with style. In contrast to these views, the reaction of Sujata CJ, writing for Rediff.com, was that the film was very disappointing with many cliches and a bad storyline, though Santosh Tundian and Sharmishtha Roy were praised for their camera work and art direction respectively. Nandita Chaudhary, in a review for India Today, said that Karan Johar was almost able to rekindle the Khan Kajol magic of Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, and that overall the film was a good distraction. So how much did Kuch Kuch Hota Hai earned? So let's see the box office collection. There were great expectations for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai leading up to its premiere, because it reunited Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge team of Shahrukh Khan and Kajol, and specifically concerned the debut of Karan Johar, whether he would be in the same league as Aditya Chopra as a first-time writer-director. The film grossed 80.12 crore rupees in India and 6.3 million rupees in other countries. That is 26.61 crore rupees in other countries, for a worldwide total of 1.06 billion rupees against its 10 crores rupees of budget, and became the third film to gross over 1 billion rupees worldwide after Hum Aapke Hai Kaun and Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. It had a worldwide opening weekend of 8.06 crore rupees and grossed 15.13 crore rupees in its first week. It is the highest grossing Bollywood film of 1998 worldwide. It also became the third highest grossing Indian film then, behind Hum Aapke Hai Kaun and Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. How much did Kuch Kuch Hota Hai earned in India? It opened on Friday, 16th October 1998 across 240 screens along with Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, and earned 87 lakh rupees net on its opening day. It grossed 2.74 crores rupees net on its opening weekend and went on to record the second highest first week of the year, with collections around 5.64 crore rupees net, after Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, which grossed 6.33 crore rupees net. The film earned a total of 46.86 crore rupees net, plus a distributor share of 29.88 crore rupees, and was declared an all-time blockbuster by Box Office India. It is the highest grossing film of 1998 in India. Let's see overseas. How much did Kuch Kuch Hota Hai earned overseas? It had an opening weekend of $800,000 and went on to gross $1.3 million in its first week. It became the first film to cross $5 million mark outside India and became the highest grosser at that time. The film earned a total of $6.3 million at the end of its theatrical run. It became the second Bollywood film to break into UK cinema top 10 after Dil Se, which released the same year. It was the bigger box office success than Titanic when it was screened in Indonesia. Overseas, it is the highest grossing Bollywood film of 1998. When talking about the accolades, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai received a leading 18 nominations at the 44th Filmfare Awards and won a leading 8 awards, including a sweep in all the major categories. It was the third film to win the 4 major awards: Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor and Best Actress at Filmfare. A few years after its release, Sony purchased the satellite rights for the film for 4 crore rupees. The film was also released on VHS, DVD and eventually Blu-ray. Now Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, along with Johar's second film Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, often play on television to consistently high ratings. Johar said, "It's gratifying to know that they have aged well and passed the test of time." Kuch Kuch Hota Hai does leave a legacy behind. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was the subject of reviews and critical analysis following its initial release. Subhash K. Jha called the film a simple, stylish, sensuous and ambrosial love story, further adding that the chemistry between the lead pair was unbeatable. The reviewer from Time Out Film Guide, while commenting that the second love triangle went on too long, liked most of the film, saying that its performances, camera work, storytelling and extensive musical numbers are all energetically colorful. In 2004, Mayor Sherryman of the Malay Mail called the film a must-watch for Bollywood fans and also for those seeking an introduction to Bollywood. The film has also been criticized for creating unreal worlds and characters, to which Johar has said that this was part of his vision of escapism. One of the best examples of iconic status of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was the 2012 film Shireen Farhad Ki To Nikal Padi. Farah Khan and Boman Irani recreated scenes and characters from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai for posters to promote their film and also paid homage in one of the songs, Ramba Meet Samba. In 2010, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was selected by Time as one of the 5 essential Bollywood movies to Netflix. It was also mentioned in critic and author Shubhra Gupta's book 50 Films That Changed Bollywood 1995 to 2015. In 2018, Johar celebrated the 20-year anniversary of the film by hosting an event with the lead cast. Kuchi Kuchi Hota Hai is an animated remake of the original directed by Tarun Mansukhani. Shahrukh Khan, Kajol, Rani Mukharji, Anupam Kher are reprising their roles as Rahul Akka Rocky, Anjali Akka NG, Tina and the principal. New cast members include Uday Chopra, Ritesh Deshmukh, Sanjay Dutt and Simi Garewal. The story will have an anthropomorphic animal cast. As of October 2012, Karan Johar has placed the project on permanent hold. He said animation films are not working nowadays, so as of now I have kept it on standby. Let's know some interesting stories behind Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Shahrukh Khan didn't like tight costumes his character Rahul wore in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. In the making video of 1998 Blockbuster, SRK is seen cribbing about his character's fashion sense in Karan Johar directorial. The most embarrassing moment for me in the movie is the costumes I have been made to wear when I am playing the young guy. I think my jeans, t-shirts, everything is way too tight. I am supposed to play the college star in my youth. I have to say and walk and talk and do certain things which I am embarrassed to do. Shahrukh Khan said in a BTS video shared by Dharma Productions back in the day. While SRK didn't like the look of his character, director Karan Johar felt Rahul lacked spine. Revisiting the film in 2020, Kajol told Midday he's a deeply confused character, doesn't know what he wants and really didn't do a lot much in the movie. Karan added that Rahul had no stand of his own and did things because there were people pushing him, pointing at his dead wife's spirit, his 8-year-old daughter and Anjali herself. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai revolves around its 3 lead characters, Rahul, Anjali and Tina. The romance drama explores unrequited love of Anjali and how Rahul's 8-year-old daughter tries to reunite her father with his college best friend after the demise of her mother Tina. At the event to mark 20 years of Kuch Hota Hai in 2018, the superstar recalled his first reaction to the Rahul's character when he received the first draft of the film. Karan came and narrated an utterly nonsense crap story to me, which is certainly not the one that finally you people saw in the film. In his strange way, Karan, the man with many words, tried to impress me with his crap story. So yes, I really did not understand the story when I signed in, he said. Shahrukh Khan ultimately did it as he believed in the conviction of Karan Johar and did not get into the story, otherwise the film would have never happened. Describing one particular scene from the movie, where Anjali comes to the college dressed in loud clothes and finds her friends, including Rahul and Tina, bursting into laughter, Karan revealed that Shahrukh Khan found it tough to do. Speaking to Film Companion 2018, he revealed that Shahrukh Khan isn't comfortable giving laughter shots and tends to mess up the scenes. So after numerous retakes, when they did manage to shoot it, SRK is actually enacting it in exhaustion. Shahrukh Khan might be the best actor in Bollywood, but ask him to laugh in a scene and he can't do it. He finds it really difficult to laugh naturally on screen. So we had many takes just trying to make Shahrukh Khan laugh. Finally, he just laughed out of exhaustion, Karan revealed. If seen closely, one can also find Karan's mother, Hero Johar, passing by as a college teacher, along with the film's choreographer Farah Khan and fashion designer Manish Malhotra sitting on the staircase pretending to be students. Kuch Hota Hai went on to become one of the biggest hits of Bollywood, finding a place in the pop culture and in the list of college romances, which still remains a fan favorite. Kuch Hota Hai Day. Let's talk costumes. The clothes. The starting point in many ways for Karan. He got very excited about this new look he would do for the college years, and it totally worked. The Kuch Hota Hai look was a craze. But why did he think it was so important? What did he do with them that was so important? I had realization when talking in the comments of the other post of Kajol's makeover look in this isn't actually something she would have been wearing in college. And that started me thinking about the costumes in the film in a whole new way. The thing with the costumes in this movie is that they are not supposed to be real. No costumes in films are real. If you think about it, they are visual cues to tell us about the characters. If they were what people actually wore, they would be meaningless. All the characters would be wearing interchangeable jeans and t-shirts and we would learn nothing about them. In a stage play, it is even more obvious each character only has one or two costumes. Think about Hamlet. For example, Gertrude is probably in red or purple, Ophelia in white or yellow, Hamlet in black. So we see that Gertrude has strong emotions and power in the world. Ophelia is young and fragile, and Hamlet is depressed. The clothes are artificial, telling a story. You can be as historically accurate as you want in details of them, but things like colors choice are about telling us who the character is. Kuch Hota Hai has ridiculous costumes, but if you accept that they are costumes designed as a character shorthand and not what people would actually wear, they make total sense. The story Kuch Kuch Hota Hai is trying to tell through costumes is one of growing up. In college, Kajol's look identifies as a child, while Shahrukh and Rani both dresses more like teenager moving towards adulthood. In the present, both Shahrukh and Kajol dress like adults, equal adults. College Shahrukh would be too young for present day Kajol, and college Kajol was too young for college Shahrukh, while college Rani was just right and transitioned into adult Rani at the same time as Shahrukh transitioned into adult Shahrukh. And this is why first makeover Kajol attempts in college is such a disaster. Kajol tries to dress like Rani, but she isn't Rani on the inside. Putting her in a short skirt and heels just doesn't look right because her movements are still too athletic and free, straining against the restrictions of the clothes. In the same way, heavy makeup looks wrong because her expressions are already so big, her face so expressive. Rani wears those clothes because she's hiding who she is behind bright colors and makeup, letting the clothes speak for her. Kajol with the bright colors and makeup becomes too much. The clothes themselves tell us about the love triangle. Kajol and Shahrukh are the same in that they like to play basketball and ride bikes and jump around and do things that you can only do with sportswear. But Shahrukh also cares about how he looks, is aware of the opinions of other people. His hair is low maintenance and short, but also styled a bit. His clothes have patterns and colors while Kajol just wears the most practical option. And then there is Rani. The way she dresses tells us that she is very aware of how she appears to the world. Not vain, but aware. She's ultimately somewhat shy and reserved person, but she uses her careful makeup and clothing to speak for her, to help her quiet personality get noticed. Shahrukh does the same thing a bit. No one at college knows that he goes to temple every week because he hides that part of himself behind the crazy clothes and cool guy attitude. Now the thought I just had recently is that Kajol doesn't turn herself into college Rani when she gains a more feminine look. She turns herself into Kajol grown up, while Rani wears western style heavy makeup and blow dry hair and bright colors and short skirts. Kajol wears practical saris, natural hair pinned back and Indian style light makeup. She can still move, she can still play basketball, she can teach dance, and she isn't someone who will inspire the wolf whistles and stares that Rani got. Even at an engagement party, she is dressed modestly and not fancier than any of her other guests. The message is, oh my gosh, Salman is so handsome, Kajol is so lucky. Not, oh wow, Kajol is beautiful. What makes the difference in the relationship in the present is not that Shahrukh suddenly sees her as pretty, but that he suddenly sees her as an adult woman. The version of themselves as they were in college truly couldn't have had a relationship. Not that Shahrukh was blind to Kajol's charms because of her style, but that her style reflected who she was on inside, and that was a person Shahrukh could not love romantically. Kajol was dressed like a child because on inside she was still a child. That's part of why her character is so extremely sympathetic. Her emotions are naked and open right there on her face. We the audience love her and want good things for her for the same reasons. We love small children. She is bright and open in her emotions, so painfully real in her hurt, with none of the protections and fakeness that signal adulthood. Notice that college Kajol and little Anjali have remarkably similar styles. That lets us see the connection little Anjali feels with Kajol, but also points to the fact that college Kajol was dressing literally like a little girl. Her overalls, her short hair and headbands, even the way she teased Shahrukh, was the behavior of a child, not an adult. It's not about whether Shahrukh sees her as a pretty woman or not in the past. It is about whether he sees her as an adult or not. In the present, we have some hints of how adult Shahrukh would react now to college Rani or any of their college selves. In his journey to the summer camp, he travels with a group of young hippie kids. He doesn't hate them, but he isn't interested in them. He's a grown man now with a daughter, wearing a suit and tie and carrying a briefcase. For him to fall in love now, he needs someone as adult as he is. And thus a message of costumes in the second half, both their costumes. Kajol is now in mature saris. She can move in them in a way they are working clothes. And she still wears minimal makeup and almost no jewelry. She has learned to be aware of her outer self and outer mask, but without changing who she is on inside. And then there's Shahrukh. His costumes in the second half are the most costumey looking ones, the full suit and tie even at the summer camp. It's a visual reminder that he is a different man now too, or rather, he's now a man instead of just a boy man. He doesn't care that the suit looks odd at the summer camp, just like he is uninterested in impressing the hippies. And he isn't afraid to talk about his emotions in front of little Anjali's class if it makes her feel better. He knows he is now and his costume is part of himself and not something he can just take on and off like his college cool necklace. In the basketball game scene, there are moments when Anjali's sari trips her off and her hair gets in her face. But on the other hand, Shahrukh has to loosen his tie and undo his buttons. And after that, they don't play basketball anymore. They walk and talk, he watches her dance, they play with the kids together and then dance in the rain. They aren't meant for basketball anymore. The clothes are too old for it. They are too old for that. Let's know some more interesting facts. Karan Johar gave Indian cinema an iconic film that redefined love and friendship for an entire generation. The film's main character Rahul, Anjali and Tina not only became popular in almost all households across the country, but many other characters also contributed to the film's popularity as a whole. From Mr. Almeida to Aman, Miss Briganza to Rufat B, every character in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai has a following of its own. As the film completes 21 years of its release today, I thought it would be a treat for our readers to go back to a time and read through the most memorable dialogues from the film. We are sure you already use them once in a while to glide through life and its situations with a smile on your face. But there is no harm in revising once again to celebrate this masterpiece of Karan Johar, which starred Shahrukh Khan, Kajol and Rani Mukharji in the lead. So here's one dialogue. तुम्हारी सेहत तो ठीक है ना? तुम इतनी खूबसूरत कैसे लग रही हो? सारी हाँ? There's another dialogue. लंदन में रहने से, वहाँ पढ़ने लिखने से, मैं अपने संस्कार नहीं भूली और ये तुम मत भूलना. This was dialogue of Rani Mukharji to Shahrukh. Now there's another dialogue where Kajol says this line to Shahrukh. मैं उन stupid लड़कियों की तरह नहीं हूँ जिनके पीछे तुम भागते हो. Shahrukh Khan says this to Kajol as a reply. वो सब मेरी तरह idiots हैं. तुम खूबसूरत हो क्योंकि तुम special हो. At least तुम उन stupid लड़कियों की तरह तो नहीं हो जिनके पीछे मैं भागते रहता हूँ. Then there's a scene where Rani Mukherjee sees that Kajol is leaving Shahrukh. She's actually leaving the college and then she realizes and she says this dialogue. उस दिन मुझे एहसास हुआ कि शायद मैं राहुल और अंजलि के बीच आ गई थी, दो दोस्तों के बीच आ गई थी. There's another dialogue. माँ वो है किसकी खुशी हमारी खुशी से है, जिसका दुख हमारे दुख से है. Another one. प्यार तो मैंने कर लिया है, शायद दोबारा ना हो, इसे समझौता ही समझ लो. There's one dialogue when Anjali is shouting at Rahul when he cheats while playing basketball. खेलना नहीं आता तो चीटिंग तो मत करो. और एक डायलॉग, तुम्हें नहीं लगता यहाँ पे काफी गर्मी है? बट आई एम ओके, आई एम कूल। दिस इज शाहरुख खान फेमस डायलॉग। एक मर्द का सर सिर्फ 3 औरतों के सामने झुकता है, माँ के सामने, दुर्गा माँ के सामने, और दिस इज द मोस्ट beautiful dialogues, one of the beautiful dialogues. This is also a dialogue from the class. प्यार दोस्ती है, अगर वो मेरी सबसे अच्छी दोस्त नहीं बन सकती तो मैं उससे कभी प्यार नहीं कर सकता। Okay, this one is the final dialogue by Shahrukh to अंजलि। तुम नहीं समझोगी अंजलि, कुछ कुछ होता है, कुछ कुछ होता है। There's another dialogue, one of the most popular dialogues from the film. तुसी जा रहे हो, तुसी ना जाओ, was not dubbed by Farzan Dastoor, who played the little Sardar boy on screen. It was dubbed by another child artist, Kaivalya Chheda. Shahrukh found the little Sardar boy very cute and would dress his toddler Aryan just like him when he visited the sets. There are certain interesting facts about Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Sanna Syed, who played the adorable child Anjali in the film, refused to use glycerine for the crying scenes, and hence director Karan Johar had to be mean to her and make her cry. Kajol injured herself when she tripped during the bicycle scene. The actress had temporarily lost her memory and remembered her then boyfriend and now husband Ajay Devgan. During her memory loss, Shahrukh Khan had apparently convinced Kajol that she was a junior artist. Oh my god. Jugal Hansraj had created the hit tune for Tum Paas Aaye in the shower and given it to Karan Johar. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was a Bollywood version of popular Archie comics. Salman Khan and Kajol were reportedly not on talking terms while shooting for the song Sajan Ji Ghar Aaye. Shahrukh Khan and Kajol used trampolines to jump during the basketball game scenes. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai had several glimpses of celebrities like Manish Malhotra, Farah Khan, director Nikhil Advani, and even Johar's mom Hiru Johar made an appearance in the film. Karan Johar was 24 when he wrote the story. Years later, he termed the film as unusually silly and that everything was wrong but written with so much conviction that it made sense. Shahrukh Khan played a businessman in the film, but Karan Johar admitted that he had no idea what about it, just some business. Shahrukh Khan apparently was not too impressed with the ending because it involved a lot of crime. So guys, do you like this story? If yes, then please comment below, hit the like button and don't forget to hit subscribe button for more such interesting stories. Also press bell icon for notification. Thank you.